I appreciate Ms. Murphy's honest and candid remarks, and I'm sympathetic. Because I bet she would support some of this. I may not support some of the things she supports, but I think it is hurried. I think it is irresponsible. We're talking about the largest tax hike in the history of the United States of America. We're talking about the biggest spending proposal on the heels of $2 billion of a so-called American Rescue Plan, which had some COVID relief and assistance, but the majority of it was bailouts for union pensions and bailouts for states and local districts that were horribly fiscally irresponsible prior to COVID. So I don't think it's too much to ask. This is, and I hearken back to some of the comments that my colleague from Illinois said about the fundamental issue here at hand, the fundamental issue, because I don't impugn the motives of any of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, my Democrat friends. I think that their intentions are, I think they're good. I think they probably want to help their fellow Americans. But the road to serfdom, ladies and gentlemen, is paved with good intentions. And what we're witnessing and what we may experience if we can't get some Democrats to peel off of this deal is the most radical reimagination of the role of the federal government in the lives of its citizens. Plain and simple. And I'm deeply concerned on the tax side that we will ever see the day we recover to pre-COVID levels. To start, we've already hamstrung the country for the last several months because my colleagues, my Democrat friends on this committee, against the warnings of their Republican colleagues, passed policies that had nothing to do with COVID, but spent so much money, distorted the economy, and now we're dealing with a spike in inflation, which is the everyman tax. We also warned, don't pay people more to be on unemployment than they made in their previous job. That is moral hazard. That is a disaster. That will keep people sidelined, and it will ruin any effort, genuine effort, to get our country back on its feet. But y'all did it anyway. And when you did, we saw a horrible side effect of this medicine that we force-fed the country in the name of, we want to help you. We want to help you. And we've got small businesses who will never come back. They poured their whole life savings into these dreams, but they can't hire employees. They can't pay their bills, and they've had to shutter. And now we're going to put a $3.5 trillion tax on top of that. That's going to be lower wages, folks. It's going to be higher cost, higher inflation. We're going to destroy farming with the death tax supercharged. We're going to destroy the lifeblood of this economy, which is oil and gas, because of the punitive provisions in there. And this cradle to grave concept, it's true. Child care, universal pre-K, universal college, free housing, free health care, free paid medical leave. It ain't free, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't free. My children and your children are going to pay for this. It is the Damocles sword hanging over their heads. This is the way great nations die. It's not China. It's not the border. It's not the debacle in Afghanistan, the embarrassment of the way that went down. It is the way we implode under the weight of these bad decisions with maybe some good intentions, but this is all going to be paid for on the heads of our children and grandchildren. And I don't have to go over the numbers of the debt and deficit that will be accelerated, exacerbated as a result of these policies. I'll end there, and I appreciate the time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.